Well, I'm glad I caught that. That's cool.
LA meltdown, and in
Whoops. That was a mistake.
the cars in the underground parking, they kind of got their shaders a little not so good looking. So I apologize on that front, and I'm still working on that. I know I promised you guys the ability to jump. Please forgive me. I was hammering away for like 8 to 10 hours, and I completely forgot to add that. I'm so sorry.
Oh no!
Literally unplayable.
Get your jumps in now.
I was. Yeah, if you need to get your jump system out, just do so now if you wish.
Let's see what Goodbye, sweet jumps. Goodbye, sweet jumps.
One other thing is, I tried to crunch this world as small as possible in file size. I need to apologize for in that front as well. It kind of bumped up to the 270 megabyte mark.
Oh.
So,
oh no!
You better get loading.
But while it might be a little big, the detail and the environment is worth the trouble. I guess that's the only thing really. If you've noticed any hiccups or mistakes, or if you have any suggestions or feedback, please don't hesitate to come up to me and tell me about them. And I'll just go ahead and drop a portal now. This is Offie to the spawn, so I'll drop it over there.
Okay, so
this is also the last world.
Give you permission to touch my nose.
Yeah, this is the last world.
It's only 5 a.m.
You go ahead.
5 a.m.
This is the last world, so I posted in the community meetup channel how to get your logs if you don't know how to do it, but please post your logs so Ruby can get them. And do not mention Ruby in the
You know what I think is happening? Because with the RAM, the reason why, I think it's loading it all the avatars that I loaded, I think got put into the RAM.
Well, they do. Well, they do when they're being used, yeah.
Well, we don't notice, but they're still this.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Well,
like,
the thing is,
downloading the avatars.
I have it set to
all the avatars. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, if you reset them, sure. I had every avatar set to medium only, even on friends. So it's still, honestly, everybody here is pretty well performing. So it's not. I don't know.
Because I joined the first time I joined, I had 10 gigs instantly as soon as I joined when I loaded up all the avatars, and then now I'm only getting 2 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, I just restarted because I had that full audio drop off, but yeah, it was weird.
I'm wondering if it's something to do. I'm thinking like when it downloads an avatar, it puts the whole download file like into your RAM.
Well, no. If you're using compressed textures, then yes. So like if you crunch the avatar, but no, most people probably won't do that. So
see, the joke's already there.
The prime example of it.
Yes, exactly. In fact, I was just talking about you today. I was talking with my husband about.
oh, this is so good. These maps. Every time Kala posts a great map, like based on a game I've played before, I instantly want to go into this. I instantly want to download the game again and play it because Cal and I have the same.
Yeah.
Cal and I have the same taste in games, so like all of the same games, like all of the tribute maps end up being games I want to go back and play again. But I want to play them in VR, right? It's all like racing and first-person shooters.
Wait, is this?
This is Duke Nukem.
I don't remember this part.
Nope. Nice.
Silent laser shoe.
Hey, I've been here. This is that drugstore from my anti-drug PSA.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. Fun, fun.
Oh my gosh. This is a big map. You know, I love the lighting in these maps. They're just right.
I love that it gives me the feel of having fucking Vaseline.
Oh yeah.
All over my.
The post-processing is a little bit strong.
Never a big fan of Bloom.
Although I've seen worse Bloom. Like this has some Bloom, but I've seen a lot worse. Like last night was a lot worse.
Dang it, there's like a low intensity but a very big radius.
So it's subtle, but still there.
Managed to oh here, this works well with the Bloom.
I don't know, but like I don't know. Cal and I have the exact same taste in games, so every map they load is like, oh, I want to go back and play this. Like the Crew and Duke and
Which
like.
game is this based on from Duke Nukem? Because
I think Forever.
Re-release?
I think Forever. Duke Nukem Forever. I think so.
That's weird. I've played.
Or maybe there's like maybe it's just the assets.
It might just be too long ago for me to remember, but
yeah, it's been a while.
I remember like the monsters, but yeah, I thought they were using the old Duke Nukem game, like the 95 game.
Well, I mean, we could ask Kala.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Hold on.
So Kala.
Right, someone just picked him up. It is sad.
Which
and just walked off.
Which Duke Nukem is this based on, actually? Or like which
this is a complete the original 3D.
Really?
Let's see what this model looks like.
But the textures are enhanced.
And not the
and it's like repopulated.
It's basically I created an alternate timeline of the LA Meltdown where VRChat players are spawning in.
Oh, neat. So, but the textures are so much higher resolution.
For some reason, don't look good.
It's
a new version.
Yeah.
It's an interpretation of Duke Nukem.
Yeah, the original Duke Nukem 3D, but like super high.
It's supposed to look that dark.
That's crazy.
Specific build is doing that right now.
You know, it's almost like RTX is if you had taken Duke Nukem 3D and made it RTX enabled.
The normal everything looks fine. Actually, I'm not even getting these black spots. No, live it looks okay.
Yeah.
Open beta.
Yeah, that's open beta matters.
So, am I gonna have to push this as a second copy of this world to 2018 and then sort stuff out from there?
Been here for like 80% of meetup because someone told me a good idea.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I literally took 15 minutes to get onto this beta. And the beta it's already over after 10 minutes.
Well, hey, you got to see this.
More troubleshooting to get on here.
But didn't you have to just enter a password and launch?
No, I was having issues.
No, weird. But yeah, no, this is neat. Like this is the original map. I'm gonna have to go back. Like I really want to see this.
Like I had trouble loading into the. I had trouble loading in, like because I don't know. I think my RAM was skyrocketing like multiple times, and then it kind of just mellowed out. I don't know, man.
Oh hi Yash, thanks for checking out the stream briefly. I usually get like one or two people, but Yash showed up of all people. It's pretty cool. But yes, this game does have some.
Causing this RAM issue though? I don't know
Remember,
why.
every single map is like loading a different, entirely different Unity game with entirely different parameters. So yeah, it is. It can be weird.
I mean, the thing, I don't know what they can do. Like,
well, just
maybe,
you
like,
could
add,
they
like,
could
somehow flush. Like, or some, I don't know what the hell. What
well, the thing is, once the process is running,
Flush, but it's
yeah.
after 2 map loads, not 1 map load. So if you like want to go back, back and forth, they don't always flush. It's only after the 2nd map load.
Yeah,
that,
so if you hop to your, if you're gonna go to another map sometimes, and you're gonna like join on someone, sometimes it's better to go to your own map first and then back. But yeah, there's so like two map loads will do it. Why? No, this is awesome. I really like this. Feels like RTX, you know, like RTX on for Duke Nukem. If only it had particle collision effects and actual fightable monsters like the Doom map does. It'd be so neat.
And actual voice lines.
Yeah.
It's time to dig gum and chew ass. And a whole lot of ass.
Was that you I saw in the rewind with the before the art section? Yes. Nice.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't? Oh god, watch it. It's quite good. It's a half hour though, which is really surprising. Pretty long.
Good kid. I don't have voice straights, I'm sorry.
I did see the DM, yes. I actually understood what you were saying, Yash. But it didn't click at the moment. But yeah, that's wonderful. That's a great way to do it. It's very smart.
This is good.
Doing it with planes is a great way to like just plane. Is it just image planes? That's all it is, right? There's no. I guess with the green one, you've got a little bit of an overlay going on there, but that's fantastic. You know, I'm still astounded with the performance of this client. The only thing I have issues.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the only issue I've seen so far is that there is a bit of a little, like, there is a more delay on the audio, so sometimes people will talk over each other more on this version, rather than using photon audio, but at the same time, it's also really good for things like, general performance overall is quite good. So I've got motion smoothing turned off, and I'm getting between 38 and 48 frames, even with all of this particle animation going on at the same time, and all of these reflection probes, and all of the animations that are happening, and all of there probably isn't, maybe it's callous, so maybe there is occlusion volumes. No, there isn't. So I'm loading everybody at the same time, too, right? So, yeah. It's wild. Oh, that's smart, Yash. That makes sense. Yeah, no, that's really good. That's such a good idea. I mean, you could almost build an avatar like that. You could build a whole avatar that's just built like that, and then every angle they look at you would be different. I mean, I guess that's kind of how, like, live 2D Mechanim works, where they have, they just have, like, a certain position in 3D that shows a 2D face at you in Billboard, sort of. It's kind of neat. Like, that's how they implemented that. Neat. Neat. I guess I'm going to have to jump back to live now. Everybody's done. Are you going to do the same?
Yeah. But after classes today, I realized I retained nothing from all the previous repair classes I've done in the past.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like today we open up our PC and we had to label every part. I'm like, RAM, battery, CPU, fan. Ports for USB. That's all I remember. And I'm like, wait, what?
No, yeah.
Those parts existed.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's things that I got a 3.8 GPA in C++ and Java, and if someone was to put that, if the code was in front of me, I could understand everything that was there. But for me to just sit down in an IDE and start writing, no, completely forgot it all because I don't use it very often, right? So it's rough.
Yeah.
We use a lot more C# and stuff now. So. Yeah, I don't get to use it. So yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Java is like a pointless language to learn or something?
No, Java's great to learn because Java's great because if you want to program in Android and C#, Java is quite similar. So
Okay. I got all these scraps, so I need to like go over everything from the past. And it's...
Oh, you'll get it all. You'll get there, and then you gotta get into a career that keeps using it, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hop back
networking was
to.
kind of easier because I remember the stuff I did for networking, sort of.
That's good.
Like
yeah.
yesterday, we crimped a cable, and I remember how you did it.
Oh, geez,
I remember the order, but
can't
everything
even.
was like
I can't remember the order. I do remember how to do it, but I never remember the order. Hi.
White, orange. It's white, orange, orange, white, green, blue, white, blue.
Everything that's a twisted pair has to be next to each other.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with straight-through cables, as long as it's not gigabit, you can actually just make sure that both ends are the same. That's all you gotta do. The only reason is you get noise, right? So if you're doing 10 gigabit or gigabit, you can't do that. Like they have to be specifically apart from each other when they're coming out of the plug. But if you're just doing a straight through cable on like 10100, it can just be the same on both sides. It doesn't really matter anymore. But yes, but ideally they should be the correct order. Gigabit is such a pain.
What you just said there, I know some of those words. That's all I have to say to you.
By the end of the year, you will. You'll know all of those words. Wait, what's going on?
Okay.
Oh, are people testing things? I don't know.
Probably.
I saw a thanks for coming. All right, I'm gonna jump back to live.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, curvatures make it easier, I think. That's really cool, Yash. Right, I have to change my library settings for VRChat. Whoop. Too easy to launch things in the new version. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, man, as an avatar pedestal, that's a really good idea. I have a feeling that could be useful for all kinds of things. Like, you could almost use it as as an outline shader, too. Like, there's got to be ways to do that. That's kind of neat. I really do like it. Yeah, it does. I mean, I guess if the angle of the polygons does matter quite a lot, too. So you need a lot. That makes sense. Why so many emojis? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. With the exact angle. Yeah. I guess you would need an exact angle, wouldn't you? All right, gonna try loading into live. I don't know why I'm not getting calibrated immediately anymore. It's strange. Maybe because I'm in a menu. So many emojis in chat. All the emojis from other channels. Maybe one day I will have all the emojis. Everyone is still in closed beta, I think. Mostly. Everyone is squid today, apparently. Well, that was neat. Shorter meetup than usual, but good. Lots of cool worlds. It's nice to fly around. I want more of that. Why? Stop. Why so many? Why? My overlays keep disappearing. That's okay. Strange. Anyway. I don't have much to show at this point. I was doing some stuff, but now I'm not so sure. Also, my hips are not tracking. Mostly for the community meetup and for people's sake to see the D&D world. Wish I wasn't so busy. Be nice. Yeah, you could definitely do an index of refraction shader. It's totally possible. That, because I mean, you could even do it. Like, there's lots of ways you could do it. You do it like with a Z depth capture, and a few other ways just to like show that angle, without having to make all the different planes. Each, like for example, each texture could be on a different index, using like a fragment shader, subsurf. Both would work. You could also create, I guess, mesh volumes and then have each instantiated mesh be a different texture. Yeah, me neither. I wish I knew more HLSL shader code. Unfortunately, I just know like the overall branching concepts, like the broad concepts of how all of that would work, but the code not so much. Although things like Shader Lab make that pretty easy. So if you know what if you know what you want to do, it's all a node graph based system, and you just essentially plug in the things that you want it to do. Man, the new build is much better. I'm pretty happy with that. And it's good to see. I was worried it was starting to get to the point where like every time we'd go into a beta, the audio would just die, and it's not like that anymore. But yeah, something like Shader Lab, or Shader Forge rather, would probably make building something like that fairly easy, because what you want to do is essentially just do a fragment, and then on every surface have a different texture. So multiple texture slots on the material, and then each one calls a different specific angle index. So on the surface, I can say, yes, that's how it would work, but then writing the code is a whole different thing. I'm not terribly good at shader code, unfortunately. It's one thing I wish I was better at. Yeah, no, the physical version is amazing. It would definitely cut down on polygons though. Because every, the polygons would just be instantiated, but just in the shader, they would be at a different angle. So you'd have the same number of polygons, and then everything else would just be done by the shader. It's kind of neat. Lollybrad. What the heck? Why? Okay. Well, I'm going to drop the stream because I don't really have much to do, and I think everyone else is offline right now, really. But I will probably start streaming a bit more after this. I think soon. I have fun doing it. It's nice to see people joining on. It's nice to have people like Ash on that don't, just to have people who haven't seen my stream before. The community meetup stream from different perspectives is nice too, and I do usually stream those, but I'm going to have to do something soon for this SVG room geometry methodology that I want to show people already. See ya!